Hello and welcome back everyone for another Heart of the Swarm replay. One of my favorite players to watch ever since the beta, it is LiquidTLOZ as our red Zerg player. Spawning in the bottom left of Daybreak, and in the top right of Daybreak we have CMSPandaTankP. He's pretty much the only African player. He is from South Africa. Very good player though. As you can see, he's obviously matched up against TLO, who well, it has an incredibly high MMR. So, expect to see quite good play out of PandaTankP if you don't know who he is. ZVP, how shall this go is the question. A lot of new stuff coming out with Heart of the Swarm, obviously. Tons of new units. The metagame really hasn't changed up too much on certain maps. Like this will more than likely just be a Forge Fast expand into a quick 3 bases from TLO. Probably going to have to grab one of the some of his gas is a little bit quicker than Wings of Liberty just to deal with any sort of earlier pressure. Talking about some South Africans. As I did mention, PandaTankP is South African, so but TLO has been favoring the Swarm hosts quite a lot lately. I've been watching his stream every once in a while, and it seems like he really likes to go that kind of Swarm host Roach Corruptor build against almost everything. ZVZ, ZVT, ZVP, likes to get some Nidus play, likes to get some like weird, that whole like hatch cancel, move your queens out here and start dropping creep like right here, so it's like already in your opponent's natural by the time he starts mining from his base. It's pretty absurd. Pretty cool though. So all of a sudden you'll see this entire center of the map with creep because he's canceled a hatch like here and here, and then start spreading creep up through here, and then obviously down through here as well, and then he'll just kind of circle this like whole thing, and he has tons and tons of vision. Expansion down, Forge Fast expand, Gateway, pretty standard stuff, nothing too different or crazy coming out. So far, we shall see what tech paths these guys choose. I do know I've been seeing a lot more Sky Toss lately, as it's just a much more viable opening, sorry. To be quite frank, with the Oracle and Phoenixes and stuff, and now like the Void Rays I think are really the type of unit that they were meant to be. It's just really done a lot for Protoss in general. Plus you have the Mothership Core to support any sort of early aggression, so you can get out Sky Toss a little bit earlier, or a little bit easier rather, as you can put down your like Photon Cannon Nexus, and that pretty much thwarts any sort of aggression. Even things like Liquid Xeno's very cool 3-base Ling Bling all in, and we do see a cannon rush coming out of PandaTankP, and that is not good. The cannon is in fact up. This third might have to be cancelled unless he can get a decent amount of queens or lings down here. And is he going to cancel it? That is the question. No. Okay. So he's going to try and build a queen. He's going to be bringing this queen down here as well. Gets the probe. That is good news. Should be able to save this hatchery. It is quite possible. He utilizes these lings and the queen to get in here on this tank. He does need to get up in here though before this second one finishes, and now he's going to start taking off damage from this hatchery. But that's just so much damage being output by these two cannons. Really tough to deal with. And that one does go down. He should be able to kill this though with just 2 queens, although this one is very close to dying, so it's going to be particularly rough to do. 2 lings coming up in here, probably just going to tank a couple of shots. Needs to pull back that queen. Great transfuse going down, in fact. And he does get the cannon. Very cool as well, if you guys saw that little piece of the cannon actually falling off of the cliff. Double gas coming down. Stargate opening. For Panda Tank, jumping up to 4 gas. Does look like we had a pause in the action. Nothing too crazy though. Stalker coming in and already getting surrounded, and that is not what you want if you're Panda Tank. Oh, and so close to getting picked off. But will not fall. This saves his hatchery. That is absolutely huge. Because if this third hatchery falls, he's, well, really quite screwed. Stalker does get surrounded. Stalker stays alive, but so much damage already done to it that it's not really going to be valuable in any sort of engagement. It'll die pretty quickly. 4 gases are up. Roachmorn on the way, as well as a Evo Chamber layer coming out as well. And we do see Phoenix being cancelled. No. Did pop. Okay, good. And Chrono boosted Phoenix as well. So he is going to be going for Phoenix play. This slow Ling coming to check out just to see if there's any sort of third base. Ling speed is on the way now for TLO, as well as another gas. Spore Crawler, as he does spot the Phoenix. Very important. Got to get that down. But with only 2 Phoenix, this is really just going to be to like scout, harass some overlords. And now this third Phoenix on the way, but until he gets 4 Phoenixes, you actually cannot lift a queen and kill it in one lift. So, and now with this Spore Crawler here, yeah, I don't really see this doing too terribly much. He is switching into a Robo base, so probably just going to use this for pressure. And he's getting +1 as well. +1 missile attacks coming down for TLO. As well as a 4th base. Moving into a very quick 4th base. Did spot this third going down from Panda Tank, so it does look like we're just trying to move into a macro-oriented game. This queen will die, and so will this one, but that Phoenix does fall, which allows this queen to live. As I mentioned before, you do in fact have to have 4 Phoenix to kill off any sort of queens. And now he can kind of just keep these Phoenix around to do things like this. Just pick off drones when they're kind of, yeah, doing silly things like this. And not really in position where they're supposed to be. That was kind of a weird graphical glitch right there. Drones being transferred over to the 4th now. And this will give away that there is a 4th already up, but Panda Tank really doesn't have anywhere near enough units to put on any sort of decent pressure, so doesn't have to worry about that too terribly much. Robo facility coming down, grooved spines and some hydras coming out. Interesting to see how well these do, especially once Colossi get out on the field. Warp Prism harass does look like it's about to occur, unless he's using this or planning on using this for a push. +1 Carapace down as well, and pretty quick hive, especially for Heart of the Swarm. 12-minute hive is not something that you usually see. There's typically so much aggression going on in Heart of the Swarm that you don't really see quick hives anymore. It usually can even get pushed to somewhere around 20 minutes. Depending on the game, there's just typically a lot more aggression. You have to spend a lot more money on units, and you don't get to drone up as hard or probe up as hard, etc., which delays, obviously, all of your tech. Do see infestors coming out, as well as muscular augments, so we can get some speedy hydras on the way. +2 ground weapons, as well as thermal lance. Does look like he's possibly going to get another queen. No. Yes, he does. Infestors here. Should probably fungal these. But TLO does lose an Overlord. He is vastly ahead in supply, though, over 40 at the moment. So we will see what the plan is for Panda Tank, and we do see the Dark Shrine about to come down. Blink, as well as a couple more gateways being produced, and Vipers. Very cool. We do not get to see Vipers hardly ever anymore. Zerg players at first, when HOTS came out, were using them quite a lot, but just not so much anymore. Picking off this Overseer does not get the changelings though. And I do believe that he saw this Dark Shrine, so he has to know detection is necessary. These Vipers are probably going to go consume, yes. Something to be aware of is that you can in fact kill off your own buildings, so do not consume too much, as well your buildings will die, and we might actually see that happen. Yes, this building is more than likely going to fall. Very sad. You can actually kind of do this on your hive, as it has 2,500 hit points versus just the 1,500 of a hatchery. And he has to be able to make sure that, yes, okay, he does not overconsume, so he does not lose that +1 melee, and is now going to have Blinding Cloud and Abduct available. These are very important to grab units like the Colossus, and then you can even actually throw Blinding Cloud on these couple of Stalker balls, and that way they have to keep moving forward and actually hug the roaches, which is perfect for what Zerg would like to do. Blinding Cloud going down so he cannot engage. Very cool. Looking to see some abducts there. Yes, and the Colossus have been grabbed. Are they going to get target fired? No, they do not get target fired. But buys him some time to pick off this fourth. And now Blinding Cloud going down. And all of these units fungled in place. And then Blinding Cloud can't do a darn thing. Very cool play from TLO. Utilizing both of those casts very, very effectively. He's going to have to turn around here, though, and make sure that he does not lose his entire army. We do see Roach Hydra being produced for reinforcements, and yes, PandaTank knows that he can't really push into this. As you can see, TLO is still ahead by 45 supply, even though most of that is tied up in production at the moment. Extractor's a very good thing for one Viper to consume on. They do have 500 health, so a pretty good amount. I do wonder, though, if you can do things like Spore Crawlers consume against them. Evo Chamber just chilling out here for the consumption of the Vipers. 3-3-2 on the way, as well as Chitinous Plating, so he's going to be going into a tech switch to Ultras. Archons are not good against Ultras. Neither are really any of these units for the most part. You need to start getting out. Switch from Colossus to, well, Archons are okay against it, I guess, because they're massive. They don't take quite the amount of AoE damage that all of these units do. But you need to start switching into more like Immortal Tech, or something like Void Rays, which with Prismatic Alignment do a ton of damage to Ultralisks, and obviously cannot be even hit by the Ultras. Fairly big engagement coming up over here. Looks like there was some sort of DT up here, but it was cleaned up due to the Spore and Spine Crawlers. Both players shimmying back and forth, waiting to figure out how to engage each other. Blinding Cloud going down so that this army cannot move forward. The Colossus being pulled and focused down very quickly, fungled in place as well. Huge blink. Very, very, very aggressive coming out of PandaTank. Now TLO coming out with Ultras. It's going to be very hard for PandaTank to push into this mini Spine Crawler wall with so much DPS support behind it. He is going to try and possibly just do a huge blink on top of everything, though. And no, he does look like he's going to actually try and blink around it. Nice Blinding Cloud coming down as it negates a lot of the effectiveness of this army, but still such a strong army out of PandaTank. This Ultra switch is going to catch him so off guard, though. These are going to be 6-2 Ultras with their third attack on the way. He does do a great job of hiding these Ultras as well. And with this many Ultras, man, unless PandaTank really spreads out quite well. He could do a ton of damage, and here they come charging down the ramp. He is going to need to blink backwards, fungling them in place. Storm is not effective against Ultras, and we can see so many units falling and flying everywhere. This is absolutely crazy. You do not see Ultras used very, very much in PvZ. More Ultras being produced, though. Transfuse going down on a couple Ultras there, making sure they stay alive. Does look like he's happy with just knocking down this 4th base as he takes his 5th. So PandaTank looking to go ahead in the economy. The question will be, what does TLO do from here? Is he going to continue to tech into Ultras? Or is he going to try and switch it up and go into Greater Spire to catch his opponent off guard? I feel like Ultras are still a pretty good unit, as there are only, yes, 1 Immortal out. Not too terribly much as far as anti-armor, and now the 2nd one is out, 3rd one on the way, plus 2 armor being researched. But these Ultras, again, have 6 armor already and are about to be at plus 3 weapons. So they're going to do a staggering amount of damage. And we did see Consume go down on the Spore Crawler, so you can in fact do that, as it is technically a building. Does look like we are going to see a push coming out of PandaTank, though. And Fungal going down, pretty good Fungal so far. Great blinding clouds, as well as some Fungals, and this is going to be a very good engagement for TLO. Really starting to just trounce PandaTank. As we can see, the supply falling quite rapidly there for a moment for PandaTank. Not good. The bank for both players is not very high at all, actually. Hydra's coming out for some extra ranged DPS. Does look like this is a fight that PandaTank is interested in taking. 4 more Vipers on the way to try and maybe grab those Immortals out from behind the lines. Now this 5th base is up and running already, and as we can see in the income tab, quite in favor of our Protoss player, PandaTank. This is what I was talking about, guys. TLO is very well known, but you cannot underestimate a player like PandaTank. Yes, he's from South Africa, and a lot of people may not know him, but man, he is a good player. People like him and the Australian player, oh, what is his name? Now his name escapes me. I'm so sorry. A little bit of a Zealot run by coming up down. Will get cleaned up pretty easy, though. More spines going down as well. Does look like we're going to see a pretty big engagement here. A ton of Zealots for tanking, while these Immortals can just sit there and destroy these Ultras from the back. But TLO has a similar thing going on. Basically, Ultras in the front, Fungals in the mid-range, and then use your Vipers and Hydras to snag important units and do a crazy amount of DPS to them. Looking for some feedbacks on these Vipers here. We'll see what he does. Guardian Shield does go down. It does look like he's preparing. Archon does get grabbed and then sniped very quickly. Feedback and then one shot from the Archon equals totally dead Viper. In fact, if you feedback it with full energy, it is an insta-kill, as it has 50 more energy allotted than health. Couple of DTs in the mix just for some extra DPS. It does look like he's going to be blinking in here to the 5th, and this could be a great engagement for PandaTank being able to snipe off. And Storm's going down on the Ultras. Not sure how I feel about that exactly. Now on the Hydralisks, and that is where you can do a ton of damage. And he's going to start crushing through this force. There's nothing left for TLO. He's only remaking 8 Ultralisks, but those take so long to pop out, and he does realize this. Has to call the GG. Very well played from PandaTank, handling all of the tech switches TLO was throwing at him, and yeah, he just kind of got ahead in an economy, and that was that. After sniping off the center base here for TLO, managed to throw down his own 5th and just put the pressure on, and it was in fact too much for our Team Liquid player. Thank you guys for watching. More casts will be coming up daily to you. Please feel free to check me out